Welcome to Utah.
Oh my gosh, Stephanie, this is incredible.
Well, you picked a good day to be here. You got a little hint of winter.
No skiing, unfortunately, but a little snow coming down. Stephanie, I've watched the videos on this job, and it's incredible in the videos, but it still doesn't do it justice to pull up to this job site.
Not quite.
This valley behind this house is incredible.
It is. It's a beautiful lot, beautiful view. Huge progress has been made on the house over here, so
woohoo, I can't wait to see it.
let's go check it out.
All right, let's go, guys.
Altitude Adjustment, a Build Original series, is brought to you by Builders FirstSource, Delta Millworks, Huber Engineered Woods, Pella, and SharkBite.
This episode is sponsored by ACT.
I want to show you the outside of this house. We've made some big progress.
You have made some progress, and look at all these pallets of Delta Millworks sitting here.
We have some big material deliveries that have come.
Yes, you do.
So we've got our full Delta material for siding.
I love how they ship this. Isn't this amazing?
They are really well protected, like the way
Yes.
they've boxed them, crated them, and it's wonderful material. So the material we're using on the exterior for siding is Akoya.
Okay.
It's been pre-finished in the color Delta Black.
Ooh.
So beautiful material.
A very black and white build show themed house, isn't it?
There's a lot of black and white happening around here. And the Akoya is great for our climate too. No humidity, we're very dry. So the Akoya is just really stable and
Yeah.
it's a really great product to use.
Yeah.
Delta Millworks offers high quality materials for everything from siding to decking and even the soffit and fascia that you see here on Altitude Adjustment. Now, all of their stuff is manufactured under one roof, from milling to brushing and even their finish coats. They have a high performance finish process. This goes through the machine multiple times and gives you a really beautiful finish that is long lasting. It comes shipped to your job site in custom crates that keep the material protected and ready to be installed the second it shows up on the job site. Now here at Altitude Adjustment, we have chosen to use the Delta Black Akoya. Akoya is a beautiful wood that comes with an unbelievable warranty. The warranty for the Delta Akoya is a 50-year above ground warranty, although they expect this material to last decades longer. It's modified from surface to core to create a high performance material. This material is FSC certified and rated cradle to cradle gold, harvested from growing, managed forests. Now, all of our soffit material here on the job site is a little bit different than the siding material. We've chosen to use the Thermo Spruce Luckenbach color. Now this is a great option for affordability. This is a thermally modified wood using only heat and steam for enhanced durability. It has an expected service life of up to 30 years. Delta Millworks has a variety of material options for you to choose from and a bunch of different colors and finishes to fit your client's needs. So hop over to Delta Millworks website, check out what they have to offer, get yourself some samples, and try them on your next job.
Walk me through the pallet on the outside, because when I pull up, I'm thinking, oh, you're prepped for stucco, right? You've got over top of the zip, you've got at least 1 or 2 layers of some building paper.
Yep.
And then you've got a bunch of zip showing that I'm assuming is prepped for this Delta Millworks siding, right?
It is, yeah. So our exterior consists of a full bed Texas limestone.
Okay.
So white limestone.
So that's what all these pallets are then.
Yep. And we've actually craned.
You also ship those from Texas.
Yes.
I love that.
I've got a Texas theme happening
Texas
here.
theme here. I love it.
We actually craned a few days ago about 12 pallets or so of the stone up and over the house to the backyard.
Wow. Dang.
As we walk around the side of the house, you'll see that we don't really have any way to access the back with machinery anymore. So we craned all the material that we needed to get the back stone on over the house, and they've actually got a lot of it done back there. So we'll walk back there in a minute. But
very cool.
That's really what we're doing in all these areas where you're seeing that building paper and the wire mesh.
Gotcha.
The ties are just a part of doing a full bed stone.
So it's still a true Texas limestone. This isn't like a fake concrete with something on the outside. It's just a thinner version. And I'm noticing, Stephanie, on your pallets over here, you've got 2 different sizes of stone. One that looks like a really thick size, a bigger stone, almost like a brick kind of.
Yep.
And then one that's a little thinner. What's the difference? Where are you using those?
So we have the full bed stone, which is somewhere between 5 or 6 inches thick of material that's going to go around the walls. And that is all of our exterior stone, with the exception of all of the chimneys up on the roof. I don't love the idea of putting a full bed stone up on top of the roof when technically only one of these chimneys is structural.
You don't need it.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
And the thin cut stone up on the roof is going to look exactly the same as the full bed down low.
Yeah.
And we're not concerned about adding weight, about having issues. And then everything else that you're seeing that's left just zip that's been taped is our siding.
Gotcha.
So we're kind of working with both teams on site at the same time. Siding crews are here, stone crews are here. And the biggest reason is the stone install on a project like this, where it's dry stacked, each stone is very perfectly cut and fit tight to one another, takes 3 to 4 months on a house like this. And the siding install is technically going to take 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're going to have both of them kind of working at the same time. So the siding guys are getting the siding walls done before the stonemasons butt their stone. So we're not scribing siding. It just gives us a much cleaner, nicer look, and the two of them can kind of collaborate to make sure that they're putting things on in the right order.
Very smart. Now I want to talk about rain screens real quick, because this Koya siding from Delta Millworks you're putting on, if you were in a more rainy climate, you would want that air gap behind it. You're not really in a zone like that. You're very arid.
We are just a very dry climate in general, so things dry out easier. You'll also notice we have ridiculously large overhangs on our roof.
Do. I love that.
So everything's 40 inches. We have these big, huge umbrellas covering the side of our building, which is a really big help. We do sometimes install a rain screen on the house, and sometimes we don't. It just depends on, the exposure, the particular project.
Right.
But this product, and especially in a case like this where it's so well protected, will do really well.
Yeah. Now you've got another product that I've not seen before. It looks like a wood blackened fascia. What am I seeing up there?
This is actually the same material.
Oh, that's a Koya as well.
It is. And we're using the same thing for all of our window headers,
Cool.
so that our header material sticks out proud of our siding material.
That's awesome.
And we also are going to case around the windows. But all of our fascia is the same Akoya, same pre-finish of the Delta Black. We've used an 8-inch on the fascia and an 8-inch on the header. So we have quite a bit of this material.
That's fantastic.
And then you'll notice around the roof above the Akoya, we've installed a really nice, kind of a little more proud, a little more visible drip edge.
I like it.
So that it just has a little more protection. Like you'll notice with all the water coming off the roof, that drip edge is really well protecting the Sequoia and what's underneath of it.
Now, when I've ordered Delta in the past, they send out in the middle of one of these bundles, usually some type of a quart of the stain, so you can touch it up and your carpenters could be up on the, a high spot, although this house is not super high.
Not on the front.
Elevation. In the back, that's true, good point. Did they send that for you on this as well?
Yeah, we have the box sitting around here. It's actually right over here. So cut-end sealer is what they've got it labeled as.
Yep.
And the idea is for every color or finish, so we've got a few different colors. We have the Delta Black, and then we have this one, which is Lukenbach.
Lukenbach, what is that?
It's all of our soffit material. So it's a little more of like a reclaimed barnwood kind of look.
Look at that. That's beautiful. I like that.
Obviously, we have a lot of material.
Yeah.
They'll probably send certain quantities based on what you're ordering.
Sure.
But in addition to the gallons, they send us these little...
Those are cool.
So great.
Those are super
you
cool.
can pull this top out, and they have little funnels in the box. You can just pour the stain in.
That's fantastic.
Stick the top on, and then you can use them as you're going through.
Like a shoe dauber almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We really want to make sure that they're using that as we're going through all of our cut ends on our headers because they're visible.
Yeah.
So you want them pre-finished looking really nice.
I love it. It's funny, I didn't notice that soffit till you get up closer to the house. It doesn't read from the street per se. I like that you chose a little bit of a color there, not black. It gives it some warmth.
Well, and if you think about it too, when all of these big exposed timbers and rafter tails are stained, they got a little bit of stain color on them, it's just gonna look really beautiful. And the idea is we want this soffit to be very subtle.
Yeah.
but we also want it to look very mountainy, very natural. And this wood just gives it a very clean look. One of the
Beautiful.
things with the HOA is they do require that everything be real wood. So even though we're in a wooey zone surrounded by all these trees, soffits are wood, fascia is wood, siding is wood.
Nothing
and
like
all of
using
our
combustible
timbers.
materials in a, I
In a
mean, it
woolly
looks
zone.
gorgeous though, so.
It does, and it has just a really special look to it. Like this neighborhood just has,
It's gorgeous.
It's different, it
Yeah.
feels different.
It's amazing driving in, that's
Yeah.
for sure. I've only seen this on video. I've not seen it in person. So seeing it in person, boy, there's some challenges here.
Little different.
Yeah.
So we came through during like our excavation and backfill stage and put together all of our rock retaining walls, all of our rock steps, because this tight boundary that we have,
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of room to work.
No, you
so we
really
kind of had to
don't.
work our way.
How many feet
Out.
is that fence from your house?
The furthest place we have or should have is 15 feet. This
Goodness
might
gracious.
be pushed out slightly more
is
for the,
tight.
for the boulders, but we had to work out, right? Like we can't come back in and build this later. So the downside to that is, where do we haul material down here through?
Yep.
Like we can't pull bobcats down here anymore. So everything's being craned up and over the house. So all of these pallets of stone that you're seeing down here were set down here with cranes, and the stone crews just kind of had them strategically placed so they can build as they go.
Well, your mason's thankful that you craned that in place for them, aren't they?
It was a good day for him.
So this will get almost like a stone wainscot. And I'm assuming where I'm seeing that big zip flashing tape, that's transitioning from siding to stone.
Yep.
And is there like a pitched sill on the top of that or
Solid
something?
limestone pitched sill.
Killer.
So the
That's gonna
idea
be
behind
gorgeous.
it is we obviously want to be able to drain that water off. We don't want it to sit on top, especially with a limestone that can kind of deteriorate getting
Yeah.
direct water
Yeah,
contact
that
over
makes
time.
sense.
But in addition to that, over the top of the limestone sill, we'll have a little piece of metal flashing, just like a little, L flashing that kind of protects the transition from behind the siding
Gotcha.
to the top of the sill. Because the idea is water gets on, we want it to be able to run down and get away. So the other key piece to that is that the sill itself sticks out further than the stone. Because you want that water to hit the sill, run off of it, and drip down,
Smart.
not drip across the face.
And then this wire, I'm assuming, is going to get laid in the coursing.
It will, yeah, we can
Got
come
it.
over here. These guys are like magicians with this
Oh, here they're
stone.
running it right now. Oh, look how pretty that is.
One of the other things that's a little
That
complicated
is
on this,
Beautiful.
you can see all the different ties and
Yep.
how they're pulling everything together to ensure that this stone really does stay nice and perfect on the wall.
Beautiful.
This is not an easy install
No,
when we're
it's not.
talking about how many different sizes of stones we have, and they're really having to just cut them and install them.
Boy, now we're starting as we come around the house to see what you were talking about. This house gets high on the back, does it not?
The whole lot just drops off so quickly. We
Yeah.
just get really steep. This big metal ledge that we have around the house, so the HOA requires that no concrete foundation is visible, which poses a few challenges
hard.
because we need to know the grade now, and the grade has to be figured out correctly now.
Yeah.
And then
That's hard.
the stone crew is going to come through and set all their stone directly on this rather than having like a foundation ledge, because we can't have that foundation visible.
Yep.
So this is going to be where all of our stone rests around the whole house. That's kind of a little tour of the outside, but it's
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean-
cold. You want to head inside?
I think we should, but I just want to mention again, I mean, look at this. We're at what, 7,000 feet elevation?
Yeah.
And look at the view.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was in Texas, which is probably like 500 feet of elevation.
Exactly.
And it's morning, so when I slept, I didn't sleep great last night, I gotta say.
Some people get altitude sickness.
Yeah, I instead of altitude adjustment, I'm having altitude non-adjustment.
There's a reason we named the house Altitude Adjustment.
I hear there's some interesting things inside when it comes to that. How about we meet these guys inside?
Let's go check it
All right,
out.
I'll meet you in there. Oh my gosh, Stephanie, I've seen this on video so much. But
Yeah.
getting this 360 view with I can picture the fireplace on when I come in.
Yep.
And look at the view through those pillows with the pool in the foreground and the incredible water in the background. I mean, this is spectacular. Kitchen's down here, right?
Yep.
I love how these spaces are large, but they're human scale. They're not overpowering.
Well, that's the thing is like everyone comments about how big the house is and how overly sized it is. But one thing that like you really understand when you're here, no rooms are oversized. The homeowners want it to feel cozy when they have their friends and family here. And for them, I mean, it's the multi-million-dollar view,
Incredible.
right? It's something that you can't
Yes.
experience somewhere else. So
Yes, for sure. All right, so we're walking through the kitchen now, and I love these beautiful archways.
yeah, this is a theme in this house. The homeowners love rounded elements or arched elements.
And we've even got looks like a half arch on this doorway coming in here.
Isn't that cool?
Is this master bed right here?
Master bedroom. Yeah, so walk in. There's this little like vestibule art wall, accent wall. We've got, again, that half arch happening up here.
Cool.
And then this is a bedroom space. It's not
Beautiful.
huge. We've got enough room for a really nice king size bed.
So when I'm walking in, Stephanie, I see this gas line in the wall.
This is our altitude control technology system. So it's oxygen. Technically, I guess, still a gas.
It is a gas.
But it's oxygen instead of natural gas.
Right.
Now, altitude control technology system basically allows someone like you, someone who can experience altitude sickness when they're here in our climate, to be able to breathe better, rest easier, makes their racing heart rate kind of slow back down to normal.
So this is really an oxygen input system for the whole house?
No, just the bedroom
Just the
itself.
bedroom,
Yeah,
okay.
so it is a fairly expensive product. The idea behind this is we're going to seal this room,
Okay.
everything from thresholds on doors to our wall treatments. We'll end up putting a Siga. You'll notice we've started coming through and foaming any penetrations.
Yep. And I watched on the mechanical episode, you have an HVAC system just for this space too.
Yep, dedicated specifically for this room. And that
Gotcha.
keeps all of that air in a closed loop.
Got it.
So homeowner comes here to Utah, they can set their controller, which we'll talk about is on the other room.
And then that actually has a higher concentration of oxygen coming into this room.
Supply, yeah.
Wild.
So oxygen supply, and I learned a few things as we were doing the rough stage on this. One of the things with the oxygen supply was where it can and can't be.
Ah,
So couple big things was they needed a certain distance away from like an ignition source.
okay.
Obviously we have pumping just straight oxygen into the room. We want it to be away from any sort of ignition
Sure,
source,
sure.
at least a certain distance. So we really had to make sure we were putting it kind of far away from light fixtures, that kind of a thing. The other thing is they have a minimum height off the ground, which I believe is about 84 inches.
Okay.
And then from there, the only other requirement they have is like, don't put it by a door that you're going to be going in and out of when you're primarily wanting to use it. So for this
Got it.
particular homeowner, he's going to turn it on, have it working while he's sleeping at night. So if he gets up to go to the restroom, we don't want this oxygen supply or our controller by that door, because then it's going to false read because it'll lose oxygen when they open the doors to go into the bathroom.
Ah, gotcha.
So supplies on one side of the room, and then we put the controller to the system clear on this other side of the room right here. You should set it and kind of forget it or turn it. You have the ability to turn it on and off from your phone as well.
All right, if you're gone for a week, you don't need it.
You don't
for a
need it
month.
running. Yeah.
But if you're here, you want to let it just go.
Turn it on and let it go. Yeah.
If I understand it correctly, I said I'm from 500 feet of elevation. When I come to these higher elevations, my body's not used to the lower concentration of oxygen.
Yep.
And that's what's causing my lack of sleep and some of these other issues. So by this, like kind of raising that oxygen percentage in the room, this room might sleep like it's at, 500 feet of elevation rather than 7,000 feet of elevation.
Exactly.
Right? Am I saying
Yep,
that correctly?
Exactly. And this controller will allow you to kind of play with it and adjust it. So, if your threshold of comfortable sleep, easy breathing is 500, you can kind of play with how it works. I know you walked through a house at one point in Colorado that had this same system. And they were at a little higher elevation than we are, but I believe they had that room simulated somewhere around 1,500 feet.
Right.
So even if you think about the difference between being at 8,500 feet in elevation and 1,500 feet in elevation, that's a totally different sleep experience for someone who's not from this altitude and
Sure.
suffers with the air. So it's a really cool system to be able to put in.
And it makes even more sense, you know, the higher elevation you get. You know, in some of these ski resorts in America, you could be building houses at 10,000 feet.
Yep.
And I would be terrible at that elevation for any length of time and sleeping. So, I mean, these systems make a lot of sense. And I think you mentioned your homeowner actually has a beach house that they live in a lot.
Yep.
So that's at 0 elevation.
Exactly.
So for that person to come into town and spend time here when they're used to 0 elevation,
Yep.
that's a giant difference on your body. So this really does make a lot of sense.
There's so many little details that go into this system that are separate from this system. So you'll notice, like, I've started to come through on just days when I'm killing time waiting for an inspector and just caulking, like
just keeping everything.
right? Like, you're just trying to come through and caulk anything you can. After we do all of our insulation, which in this case will be a full cavity of closed cell spray foam.
That's wonderful.
That'll be really helpful for air.
Yes. Yep.
And then after that's installed, we'll come through and install Sega Myrex
Nice.
walls and ceilings.
So that'll keep that from getting into the attic or getting into the other rooms adjacent that you don't necessarily want to lose that oxygen to.
Exactly. We're just trying to get to a point where this is just really well sealed up so that we're containing it and it's running efficiently and also doing its job.
You know, the other benefit of that, frankly, is it's going to make a really quiet bedroom.
It is.
Not having airflow from here to the other rooms. I suspect you're probably going to use a bunch of interior insulation for sound control as well. Like me, you guys always use 5/8 drywall.
Yep.
So you're going to have a lot of things that they're going to give you like multiple benefits. And the last thing I want to mention on this before we move on off this altitude control technology, when I visited the first time a house with it, I expected to see like big silver tanks in the garage that Praxair was delivering, you know, the same guys that deliver our welding supplies, like a big hospital. But in fact, it's a series of like almost like computer equipment.
Yeah, like a computer tower.
Yeah, that's concentrating the oxygen that's already in the air, sending it through a tube to the bedroom to just raise that concentration. So one particularly cool thing is you don't have delivery trucks. This isn't grandma's tank that she
Carrying
carries around the house. It naturally works in the background for your benefit. It's a really neat system.
Very cool.
And if you're going to build a nice house, in the scheme of things, yeah, it is more expensive than not doing it.
Yep.
But if that's going to increase your sleep, I can tell you, I would spend a lot of money to get them a better night's sleep.
Well, and that's exactly the thought that this homeowner had. We even prepped a separate guest suite for it as well. We've already ran the supply and the controller lines. We've separated the HVAC system for that bedroom. So it is fully prepped, ready to go.
Smart.
We just didn't purchase the equipment, like the concentrator equipment.
Oh, it's got to be the highest cost in the install.
Exactly.
So then he could bolt that on later, basically.
Yeah.
Add the engine, in other words.
Exactly.
Buy the car now, but add the engine later if you need it.
Yeah, his thought is, like he's never lived in a home that has something like this. And I don't think many people have. So in his mind, having the ability to try it, and if he comes here to Utah and sleeps in the room and just has like a delightful experience and it works really well, I would bet within a few weeks of moving in, he'll be calling to set that one up.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's a pretty cool system.
Before we wrap up today's episode, you know I love doing that out of my mechanicals. And I gotta see some of your stuff in the basement that I've seen on your videos. Can we head downstairs?
Yeah, let's go down and check it out.
Meet you down there. I don't know if you ever get this comment on your videos, but sometimes I get people that say, hey, Matt, you only build unaffordable houses.
All the time.
And, why are you showing those expensive things when I can't do that?
Yep.
And I would say to those folks, yes, we do obviously build some very expensive houses. I can't afford to live in the houses that I build.
Yep.
But I think that when we film the Build Show and in this series, I think that there's a lot to be learned. And here's one of those lessons right here that I've always seen you and your team do that really doesn't cost anything, but is really smart.
Yep.
So what you're looking at here, guys, besides some great mechanical systems, which I love, is a free detail that costs literally no money and will absolutely increase the durability of this house. And hardly anybody does this.
Yep.
What you're seeing here, guys, is a recess in the slab so that all of this equipment that could make water is going to keep that water if anything were ever a problem. Look, by the way, they've got all their radiant floor heating here.
Is fully within the recess.
Fully in the recess. Yep. And there's a floor drain right here.
Yep. And
all it cost them was one 2x4 border when they poured the slab. And then this is recessed by 1.5 inches or ish, something like that.
Yeah.
So this was literally free to do and is a great detail. Now, detail number 2 that did cost some money, some beautiful epoxy. It's a little dusty right this moment, but Stephanie's team had a contractor come in and do this epoxy.
Yep.
But you know what, at my house, Stephanie, I took this detail from you and I did the $30 version.
It works just as well.
I grabbed a can of porch floor paint gray, got the dark gray that I wanted, and I painted my mechanical room floors. And in one room, I lined the walls with some leftover Advantech and painted that gray.
Yep.
So the whole room is gray, and it cost me $30 in an hour of time.
But it makes a drastic difference because if you've ever been in a mechanical room or a storage room where it's just raw concrete with no finish,
it looks terrible.
It's always dusty.
Yes.
It's always dirty. It doesn't matter how much you mop it or clean it. It's just the nature of how concrete's made.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, the idea is not only the fact that we are protecting the concrete and creating a very easy surface for the homeowners to clean, but we're also just making this space look a whole lot nicer. It just looks more finished. Whether it's epoxy with flake in it or a can of $30 paint, it does the exact same thing.
And you know, I nerd out on my mechanical rooms, and when I come to Stephanie's jobs, I always see things neat and orderly. I mean, look at the ceiling above us. Look how beautiful this ductwork is. They've really thought about it. In all this area that will be fully exposed, they pre-epoxied where they couldn't get to it later because they've got equipment in the way. In some other areas, they can come back and epoxy this later if they want to get the rest of this area.
Yep.
But you've just been really thoughtful about showing your homeowners, your clients, that you care about them. You don't have to do this, but man, does it make a big difference. And I think it makes a big difference in your relationship with your homeowners.
If you really want to know how good a home builder is, don't look at the house, go in the mechanical room.
I totally agree. Let's end here.
So,
give us a tour of the pre-wire for the ACT. Like, what is this going to look like when it's all done? Yeah,
so the idea here, we really wanted, again, to try and tuck these out of sight, out of mind. Mm-hmm. So this system itself is going to be a storage rack or a storage shelving. And we're going to have these, what look like old computer towers that are part of the oxygen system. So you'll see all of these individual outlets that we've got ran. This is where all of those oxygen systems or computer towers are plugging into.
So is that just each one of those is probably its own 20 amp circuit or something?
Yeah, so we did dedicated just on all of these. You can pick and choose, what you're going to use. The reason there's quite a few here is because we prepped that future guest bedroom.
Right.
So if the homeowner wanted to come back and finish that future guest bedroom, we have these lower outlets tied in.
Gotcha.
So these will probably not get used at this point. These are going to be running the main system.
And then these are those oxygen tubes we saw upstairs. So one of these is going to the master, one's going to that secondary bed.
Exactly.
That won't get used initially, but this one, whichever one's running the master, will get hooked up immediately.
Yep, and then these are just part of their controls. You can see the same wires that were plugged into the controllers in the room are coming here. So these communication wires are at the screen in the bedroom, coming all the way back to here. And it's worth noting that you don't have to have the screen. The controller can be your cell phone and purely your cell phone.
That's kind of cool.
Or you can have the wall mounted controller that can do where you can have both.
I like a wall mounted controller. I'm old school.
Well, and our thought with it was, especially if they ever finish the guest bedroom, your guests are never going to have access to your home network system.
That's
so walk up to a screen on the wall and turn it in, and they look beautiful. You've seen one finished.
Yeah, they're cool.
So I'm really excited about that. This is just kind of how they have everything prepped and ready. And then we've got some fresh air pipes that are just coming down directly into
gotcha.
this space. So
Cool.
these will get cleaned up and cut nice and neat once we're all done drywalling.
Gotcha.
But the idea is we're just going to put some shelving here and we'll have all these units on here. The bottom outlets can be used in the future when he adds the other system, and they can just come in, simple as set these up, plug everything in, works. They're good to go. Yeah.
Easy. Stephanie, really fun to see this project with my own eyes finally.
Yeah. Amazing
view, amazing work, great craftsmanship. Your team has really taken the care. And I appreciate your leadership in the industry. I mean, you and I have been giving away free content to the world to teach.
Yeah.
And you and I have learned so much from the elders that taught us.
Yeah.
It's our duty to give it back. So I just want to thank you for everything you do, my friend.
Thank you.
Amazing work. Keep it up.
I appreciate it. It's just incredible it's not only incredible to give out the free education or to give out the knowledge, but to be able to go to dinner and have some random person.
We were at dinner last night and someone recognized us.
I mean, we're in Sandy, Utah, and some person walks up and just the first thing he says is, "I just want you to know how much your videos mean to me."
That's
and what I do.
awesome.
Like, it's just
Pretty
really
fun.
rewarding, and it's really
is.
cool, and there's so much to grow and so many great people. So I'm happy to do it.
Love it. Very fun.
Okay. Well, now you got a tour of this and you're going to have to come back when
I will
it's
definitely
done.
come back. This is amazing.
Yeah.
What a house.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all later.